Hello friends, welcome back to this session. Before starting with this session, I would like to say one thing. Do not focus on my language. That is, I might not be speaking language Hindi, but focus on the content that I am here to deliver you. I am here to provide you the best content possible with regard to the pertinent to the economy, which might be appearing, which will definitely be helpful for your upcoming examination, friends. So focus on the content, not on the language. And this all content, the kind of question that are brought here are studied, it is done through after studying the previous year question and picking the most important topics. Like in this session we'll be covering few of the budget topics, then few international bodies topic. So the entire session is revolving around the important topics that are taken from the empirical evidence or the previous by going through the previous year question papers. Friends, now let us get started with the first question of the day. So friends, the first question is: the tax imposed on imports and exports of goods when they are transported across the international borders is known as dash. So let me read the question once again. Tax imposed on imports and exports of goods when they are transported across the international borders is known as. Option A is sales tax, value added tax, custom duty and trade tax. I would like to advocate or suggest one more thing. Whenever I am discussing this session, keep posting your responses, because through that you will be able to assess yourself and that will make your learning much richer. So friends, the answer here is custom duty. So let us look at the content here. See, the custom duty is the tax which is imposed on imports and exports of the goods when they are transported across the international border. See, let me explain why we import. What is the reason behind imposing such a tax? Suppose all the customers or all these consumers within the Indian territory start demanding a huge amount of foreign goods. Then the Indian domestic manufacturing companies will not have any profit or incentive to manufacture products. So if you start importing in large quantity, then that hampers the domestic manufacturing sectors or the domestic manufacturing industries. So in order to avoid and prevent the domestic industries from failing, the import or the customs duty is imposed. So for example, if an iPhone is priced at $10,000, then certain custom duty of maybe 5% or 10% will make the product even more costlier. So that if the product is costlier, then the consumers who are within the Indian territory might not go towards this product and rather go towards the Indian domestic products. So friends, that is the reason. The entire reason is to promote the domestic industries behind the the reason of imposing such a customs duty. So now let us move on to the second question. At which rate the income tax is imposed in India? This is an interesting question. So go through the option. One is regressive, the other one is digressive, C is progressive and D is proportional. Take your time, friends. And the right answer here is, friend, option option B, digressive. So what exactly do I mean? Let us try to understand this regressive term. So first of all, let us try to understand the progressive, then you will get a complete idea. See, the current income tax slabs are 0 to 5 lakh. People who are earning between 0 to 5 lakh, the tax is 0%, the income tax. If you are earning between 5 to 7.5 lakh per annum, then you will be taxed at 10%. And similarly, if you are earning between 7.5 to 10 lakh, then you will be taxed at 15%. And if you are earning between 10 to 12.5, friends, you will be taxed at, that is 10 to 12.5 lakh per annum, you will be taxed at 20%. And if you are earning between 12.5 to 15 lakh, you will be taxed at 25%. And anything above 15 lakh, you will be taxed at 30%. This is a flat rate. So if you look at this, as the income increases, the tax rate also increases. Hence, this is known as a progressive taxation system. This is followed in India. But if you look at the other, let me explain you what is proportional tax. No matter if the income is 0 to 5 lakh, if the tax, let me just give you, erase this. Let me erase this. If irrespective of the income, any income 0 to 5 lakh, there is no tax. 0 to 5 lakh, no 0% tax, and anything above 5 to 7.5 lakh, 7.5 to 10 lakh, all the income tax slabs we have seen, if all the income tax slab have same rate of taxation, then that is known as proportional taxation, friends. So in India we are following a combination of both progressive and proportional, hence it is known as a digressive. See, the income tax is imposed at the digressive rate in India, which is a combination of progressive and proportional. In the case of digressive rate, the tax is increased firstly with the increase in income, then the rate remains flat. We have seen that any person who is earning more than 15 lakh per annum is imposed a flat rate of 30%. Till then, the tax rate keeps increasing with the increase in income slabs. So, friends, this is a combination of both proportional and progressive. Hence, the answer is digressive tax rate system. Digressive. So if I were to tell you what exactly is the regressive taxation system, regressive, if there is an increase in income, then the tax rate starts decreasing. For example, if 0 to 5 lakh, if the tax slab are 10%, and 5 to 7 lakh it is 5%, and 7.5 to 5 lakh if it is 0%, then with the increase in the income the tax rates are decreasing. This is an regressive system. This is not followed in India. This is followed with respect to the indirect tax. Indirect tax, where for example the GST is considered irrespective of the person. Either you are buying the any products within the retail stores, or you are going and consuming the services of any restaurant, everyone is taxed the same. So this is a kind of regressive, where because even poor people are subjected to high rates of GST. So that is an example of regressive system. Usually indirect taxes are an example of regressive, and the progressive, the direct taxes are an example of progressive and the proportional. The right answer here is option B, that is digressive. Let us move on to the next question. As per the Union Budget 2022-23, which among the following portals will be interlinked and their scope will be widened? Go through the question once again. As per the Union Budget, which among the following portals will be interlinked and their scope will be widened? Options are Udyam, eShram, NCS and RBI, Udyam, eShram, NSDL and ASIM, Udyam, eShram, NCS and ASIM, Udyam, UIDAI, NCS and ASIM. The right answer here is, friend, option C. This was recently introduced in the budget 2022-23. Let us look at it. See, as per the budget speech presented by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, Udyam, eShram, NCS and ASIM portal will be interlinked. In the comment section below, friends, you tell me what does ASIM stand for. And eShram is a portal of Ministry of Labour and Employment. Ministry of Labour and Employment. This is National Career Service. Udyam is again related to MSMs. So this is a homework for you. Tell me the full form of ASIM in the comment section below. Let us move on to the next question now. Which of the following entity or the organization will launch the digital rupee using blockchain and other technologies starting 2022-23? That is this fiscal year, friends. And the options are SBI, ICICI, RBI, Ministry of Finance. Take your time. Friends, the right answer is the RBI, the Central Bank of India. See, the RBI will introduce, in order to stop the prevailing cryptocurrency craze among the Indians and to introduce the formal, because cryptocurrency is unregulated. If anyone faces loss and anyone faces any sort of dubious cheating being done within the cryptocurrency, then there is no court to resort to. If there is a digital currency introduced by the Government of India through RBI, then there are no such frauds that will be prevailing in the market. So that is one reason, and there are many other reasons behind the introduction of digital rupee using blockchain and other technologies. You can go through that in by reading newspaper. Let us move on to the next question, friends. As per the Union Budget 2022-23, the government will promote thematic funds. Government will promote thematic funds for blended finance. So what exactly are these thematic funds? We will understand when we are discussing the solution part. First, try to address this question. will promote thematic funds for blended finance with the government's share being limited to dash percent to encourage important sunrise sectors. And the options are, friends, option A is 25%, option B is 10%, option C is 15%, and option D is 30%. And the friends, the right answer here is option B, that is 20%. So what exactly are these thematic funds? See, thematic funds are these which are spent on important sunrise sectors. Sunrise sectors are the sectors which are on rise, that is their growth is increasing. If you look at the digital economy, 5 years ago the Indian digital economy was very poor. Now it has registered a high and robust growth rate. Apart from that, the climate action is picking up, the deep technology, the pharmaceutical sector, the agriculture technology oriented technology is coming up, and apart from that, food processing is another sunrise sector. So there are many other sunrise sector, but here within this part of the budget that is mentioned, as per the Union Budget 2022-23, the government will promote thematic funds for blended finance. So what exactly is this blended finance? If government starts up any program, the entire funding will be done by the government. But when it comes to blended finance, the combination of government plus private sector, both will come into combination to address this important thematic sectors. So what exactly, now let us go back and read again. As per the Union Budget 2022-23, the government will promote thematic funds for blended finance with the government's share. See, when both the government and the private sectors are coming together to fund any sunrise sector, the government share is capped at 20%, maximum 20%. The rest of the contribution will be done by the private player funds. So that was the entire question, that the government share will be limited to 20%, which is being managed by the private fund managers to encourage important sunrise sectors. And what are these sectors? These are important, friends: climate action, deep technology, digital economy, pharmaceuticals, and agri-tech. Let us now look at the next question. This is with regard to the international bodies, national and international bodies. This kind of questions are asked in the previous year examinations, hence this question is introduced here. Which one of the following organization is not, focus, read the question very carefully, because if you make a mistake while reading the question, then your answer would be wrong. So go through the question very carefully. Which of the following organization is not part of the World Bank group? And options are IBRD, that is International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, International Development Association, General Agreement on Trade and Tariff, and the other one is Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency, friends. So what do you think is the answer? Take your time. And the friends, right answer here is option C. Let us look at the different. See, the World Bank group consists of 5 different organizations, 5 international organizations that make leverage loan to developing countries. It is the largest and the most famous developmental bank. The name itself says it is a developmental bank. For example, after the World War II, the entire Europe, or in the Eastern Europe, was left in a devastating state. That is, the entire Eastern Europe and mostly entire Europe was devastated because of the war that the entire Europe was engaged in. In order to rebuild the entire economy, that is, in order to develop the entire economy of the Europe, the World Bank will be giving the funds to the respective countries of the European continent. So friends, it is a developmental bank, and the loans given by the World Bank usually are of long term nature, that is long term tenure, will be extending up to 30 to 40 years. Unlike the commercial banks which give you loans for short term, and they are more interested in the profitability aspect of that. They are interested in the profitability aspects of the bank, but when it comes to developmental banks, they are more interested in the development of that entire region. So friends, the 5 organizations are, it is the largest and most famous developmental bank in the world and is an observer at United Nations. Remember these 5 organizations. See, the first one is International Bank for Reconstruction and Development. The second one is International Developmental Association. International Development Association, International Finance Corporation, and MIGA, that is Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency, and the fifth one is International Center for Settlement of Investment Disputes. The friends, one more important piece of information I would like to give you here, that India is a party, or India is a member of all the four organizations except ICSID. It is not a part of ICSID. So this question, there is one more dimension of that can be asked in the examination, that India is not a part to which of the following organizations of the World Bank. Then remember that ICSID is the answer. Now let us move to the next question. Which of the following two pairs are referred to as Bretton Woods twins? And the options are IMF and the World Bank, WTO and the World Bank, WTO and the IMF, and the United Nations and the World Bank. So friends, here the right answer here is option A, that is IMF and the World Bank. See, the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, now called the World Bank, and the IMF were established with different mandates. See, the purpose of World Bank and the IMF are different. So what exactly are the purposes of IMF and World Bank? As we had discussed in the last question, the World Bank is purely a developmental bank. And it extends loans to the respective countries on a long-term duration in order to develop their respective countries and the economies. But IMF is a crisis resolver. Its major role is to resolve the crisis. So for example, during the LPG crisis of 1991, if you were to look at any organization to resolve or to take India out of such a crisis, then it would be IMF. So IMF would be suggesting India what are the steps to be taken in order to resolve this crisis, and apart from that, it will also give the countries the short-term funds in order to help the country tide over that crisis. But the role of IMF is that is the role of the World Bank is a development bank. You can read more on these respective different mandates of the World Bank and IMF, friends. So, and both the organization were established as a result of the Bretton Woods conference that took place in United States of America in 1944. Hence they are known as Bretton Woods twins. Now let us move on to the next question, friends. Which of the following organization brings out the publication known as World Economic Outlook? These type of questions again have been asked, friends. So this is an important question. Options are International Monetary Fund, that is IMF, United Nations Developmental Program UNDP, World Economic Forum, and the World Bank. Friends, the right answer here is option C, that is World Economic Forum. If you look at this is a survey that has been published by, sorry friends, here the right answer is option A, that is IMF. International Monetary Fund is the right answer, friends. It is not the World Economic Forum. So let us look at the explanation. So World Economic Survey is a survey that has been published by the IMF, which is usually published twice a year in the month of April and October. So what are the other important surveys that are published by the IMF? It is the World Financial Stability Report, or that is Global Financial Stability Report, is published by IMF, and similarly within India the Financial Stability Report is published by RBI. See, IMF, the working of IMF somehow gives us an idea that all the central banks of the respective countries, for example Indian Central Bank is RBI, Central Bank of China, Central Bank of USA, all of the central bank give respective reports or convey the different activities that are prevailing or that are happening within the Indian economy, and based on that the IMF will come up with the Global Financial Stability Report. So this is a very important report, friends, of the IMF. And one more important report is World Economic Outlook. So it gives a projection of how exactly the world economy is tending to do, what exactly is the projection, or how exactly the world economy is performing in the past year, and it also gives the future projections that this is the rate that, for example, that the world economy will grow by 3.3% in the upcoming time period. So these are the kind of projections that are made within this report of World Economic Outlook. So that is a very important one. And now let us move on to the second last question of the day. Which one of the following agencies is not included in the operation of Kisan Credit Card, friends? Which one of the following agencies is not included in the operation of Kisan Credit Card? And the options are cooperative banks, regional rural banks, scheduled commercial banks, and NABARD. I think most of you will answer this particular question. It's easy. You can also focus on the elimination of the elimination approach. That is, even if you are not aware with the answer, you can think that okay, here it is talking about cooperative bank, here it is talking about regional rural bank, here it is talking about scheduled commercial bank. This is an odd one out within the given option. Hence, this has to be the answer, friends. So the right answer is option D, that is NABARD. It is a developmental bank. It is a developmental bank. It stands for National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, friends. So the credit is available to farmers in most of the banks like commercial banks and cooperative banks and regional rural banks. However, in day-to-day operation, NABARD is not included. NABARD was established in the year 1982 on the recommendation of the B. Sivaraman Committee, friends. B. Sivaraman Committee. This is one more piece of information that can be asked in the upcoming examination. So now let us move on to the last question. So agricultural income tax is assigned to respective state governments by Finance Commission, National Developmental Council, Interstate Council, and the option is Constitution of India. Go through the option. This is a tricky question. Agricultural income tax is assigned to the state government by which entity? Finance Commission, National Developmental Council, Interstate Council, and the Constitution of India. And the right answer here is, friend, option D, that is Constitution of India. Let us look at that. Article 269. If you have studied as a part of Schedule 7 of Indian Constitution, where it has been clearly mentioned what are the subjects of the Union list? Union list, State list, and concurrent list. See, all the subjects within the union list will be looked after by the union government. Similar is the respective subjects within the state list will be looked after by the state government. And within the concurrent list, both the union as well as the states governments will look at it. If there is any contradiction, then the laws of the union government will prevail. So Article 269 says taxes on income other than the agriculture. So like income tax, corporate tax, all these taxes which are not related or to agriculture shall be levied and collected by the government of India. So all the respective taxes other than the agricultural tax will be collected by the government of India and distributed between union and state. But entry 46 in the state list of the schedule 7th schedule says that this the tax on agricultural that is, if any entity wants to tax on agriculture, then it is the respective state government. So it is the entry 46 in the 7th schedule which gives power to the respective state governments to impose agricultural income tax, friends. So that's all we have in today's session, friends. For more such interesting videos and to download the PDF of this particular session, you can join our subscribe to our Telegram channel, and you can also, for more such interesting videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, friends. Thank you. That's all we have in this particular session.